title of the exhibition. So if you want, come on in, everybody. Did everybody get something to eat?
Thank you. It's delicious.
Okay. So are we?
We're live.
Okay, this is also live online, which is extremely exciting. So, welcome. My name is John Bell. I'm the director of the Ballard Institute and Museum of Puppetry here at the University of Connecticut. And Rahul Kunapara is the curator of the exhibition, and Rahul's father, Ramchandra Pulavar, is with us performing. You'll both be performing with UConn puppeteers Tom Took and Anthony Salido, starting at 6 o'clock in our theater. And first we thought we'd give you a little tour of the exhibition that Rahul and Ramchandra put together. Rahul's brother, Rajiv, Ramchandra's son, wanted to be with us, but the visa system didn't happen, so that makes an opportunity for our UConn puppeteers to jump in, which they're doing. So the exhibition, as you can see, is Tradition and Revolution in Indian shadow puppetry. And I first of all wanted just to thank Raj from Kathmandu Kitchen around the corner, who provided all the wonderful Indian food. I think it's from they're more Nepalese, and that's from North India, and Rahul and Ramchandra from Kerala, which is in South India. So I don't know if we could talk about Indian food later. We wanted to thank Anthony Salido, who's our colleague at the Ballard Institute, Rachel Kafua, who's our graphic designer, Matt Sorensen, who's now teaching in the Puppet Arts program, Matthew Cohen, who's here, our colleague, Ramchandra here, and Rajiv, and Mandel Jewish Community Center in West Hartford, who loaned us a bunch of these plexiglass frames for the shadow puppets. We also wanted to thank Caitlin LaRose, a museum assistant who's been working hard here today, Aditya Awasti, who's was mopping the floor just now and before, and now is elegantly attired in a purple shirt, and Rupa Busan, another one of our students. I wanted to mention at the outset that tomorrow there's a puppet workshop that Ramchandra and Rahul will be giving right here in the theater, starting at 10 and going till 3. So there's some places still left for that, to making shadow puppets like the ones you'll see. And if people want to do that,
you can go on TicketLeap, the same site that you made reservations for the performance, to make a reservation for the workshop.
And if people wanted to get on our mailing list, did they sign up here, do you think, Emily? Did I mention Emily Wicks? I didn't mention Emily Wicks, our manager of collections and operations, who's just everywhere.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, it's okay. You can sign up for our email list on our website, or you can give your email address to the students at the front desk, and we'll get you on the list.
We send out monthly newsletters for all the stuff we're doing. For example, on September 23rd and 24th, the big giant puppet workshop with Sarah Peedy of Puppeteers Cooperative in Boston to make puppets for a pageant we'll be doing, celebrating the 50 years.
20th anniversary of Celebrate Mansfield Festival.
There you go. So that will be doing a outdoor pageant on September 30th. So please come to that. And we have a full program of stuff happening all fall once the school semester starts. So, but Indian shadow puppetry is so exciting and fascinating and powerful. I had the pleasure of presenting Ramchandra and Rahul and Tom Took in performance at the Bread and Puppet Theater a little over 2 weeks ago, and it was really interesting. Traditionally, these shows are often done, as you'll see from to ensure rain, for example, or a good harvest, I think, if I'm not misconstruing, in Kerala, like so many forms of shadow puppet theater. At the performance you did at Bread and Puppet Theater, while you were performing and summoning Rama and other gods, there was this big rainstorm came, and then at the end of the show, lightning hit, and there was a lightning flash, and that was really striking for all of us. And then I talked to Ramchandra, and he said, well, that's what happens a lot of times, because when we do these shows, because it brings rain, you know. And then we were installing the puppets here, and the puppet you'll see inside here of Kumbhakarna, who's kind of a demon. We had thought to and put him up right at the front there, and then by mistake I busted the plexiglass frame, and then Rahul said, well, you know, when we perform, we never put a demon as the first thing that people see. So it's like, okay, so now the demon is not the first thing. So we're dealing with very powerful puppetry here. And the two forms of South Indian shadow puppetry, Topavakutu, which is the form from Kerala that Ramchandra and Rahul are a major part of. Ramchandra for 11 generations and Rahul for 12 generations of puppetry. And the other form that these are all images of Ramchandra and Rahul's family in Kerala. And then the other form is Toluba Malata from the neighboring state of Andhra Pradesh, which is on the east side of the southern tip of India. So I'm aware that I'm kind of talking too much, but I had the pleasure of working with Rahul in a class here at the university called Puppetry and Modernism, which is about the ways that traditional puppetry over the past couple of hundred years has sort of changed, you know, and connected to modern contexts, which generally means more secular performance separated from traditional ritual forms, more for entertainment. But these ritual forms and community-based aspects of puppetry keep coming back. And it seemed to me, talking with Rahul and as this exhibition developed, that the work of the Topavakutu and Puppet Center in Kerala, which Ramchandra and Rahul are part of, is majorly involved in thinking about how this traditional form in Kerala of Topavakutu can change and develop and advance if that's the right word, in the 21st century. So we didn't rehearse our talk because we were cleaning up till the last minute. So do you have some thoughts you want to share, either both of you, or Rahul especially as the curator?
Yeah, so it's a great pleasure to work with Ballard Institute of Museum for Puppetry. So John has already mentioned the journey of how this exhibition has been happened, like the tradition and revolution in Indian shadow puppetry. So I was a grad student last year. I joined in the last fall, 2022. And the first class I took was from Matthew Cohen, as from Asian, in a broad sense of Asian theatre studies. And it helped me to think widely or broadly about the other forms prevalent in Asia. And then it helped me in thinking about other Indian traditions, like how they are similar and how are the differences between the Indian shadow traditions. And that's the whole, and luckily we got the collection of puppets from Walter J. Fairservice, who has donated all the puppets of Tolu Bommalata puppets to this museum. And then it was a great journey to understand the puppets and how to work with the puppets and what are the interesting things which which helped find some similarities in other Indian shadow traditions, and that's how the whole exhibition galleries is being curated. And I would like to especially thank John Bell for all the help he has done, and constantly working and thinking and developing my thoughts by merging with other traditions. And we were in a lot of questions. Whoa, what does this mean, and how does that sound? All this exhibition has happened from that in-person conversations and the doubtful questions and the challenges which we forced out. And all, so that's special thanks, as well as my major advisor, academic advisor, Matthew Cohen, who helped me a lot in bringing to UConn and well how to work about my research, and the whole transition in shadow puppetry is my research area, and he has helped me widely to read the text for all these things. And that's a great journey for me, and I'm just a small kid in the research area, and there is a long more to go. And here, whatever we have been curated here with the lighting techniques, my technical strength of Matthew Sorensen and Anthony Celito is appreciable. We just tried a lot of things, and whatever you are seeing here, we had interplayed with how to bring the shadows, how to play it, how to manipulate, and that's the whole scenario is. And Emily Wicks for creating all our paperwork, because whatever comes, it's all happened because of you, and thank you from my bottom of heart. So thank you, and all the technical and the team from Ballard Museum.
Right. So maybe we could start here, especially since this wall of photos talks a lot about tradition and modernity and revolution. This is Sri Rama, the god Rama, and the hero of the Kampa Ramayana. The Ramayana is one of the two big, great Hindu epics. That's the source of a lot of storytelling and the stories of Tolpavakutu and Toluba Malata. Also, the Ramayana is connected to Javanese shadow theater and South Asian theater, shadow theater, theater in general. So we're connected to this great epic. And I think one of the interesting things for me has been that Rahul explaining some of the detailed sign systems or significance of the different patterns in these puppets, which makes them much more charged and meaningful as performing objects. As you know from the title of the exhibition, Tradition and Revolution, we're talking about the roots of Tolpavakutu and Toluba Malata in traditional forms, and then the various ways that the form has changed. These photos are especially focused on Tolpavakutu and the Tolpavakutu and Puppet Center in Kerala and Ramchandra and Rahul's family. So these photos are of the tradition of Tolpavakutu, and maybe I would just say one thing, because you're so much more eloquent than I. The shows used to take place in front of a temple for Bhagavati, the goddess Bhagavati. And this is a puppet house where a screen would be set up, like the screens you'll see, and the entire long stories of the Ramayana would be performed for many days, for many hours, maybe overnight.
That never the whole night.
The whole night.
From January to May every year, from night 10 p.m. to morning 5 a.m., we perform in the Bhagavati temples for 7 days minimum, 14, 21, 41 and 71 nights continuously in the temple, rendering the epic Kampa Ramayana. So that's our tradition.
And that's, as I understand it, the goddess Bhagavati was not able to attend to the climax of the Ramayana, which is the big battle between Rama and the 10-headed demon Ravana, whose Toluba Malata version is right over there. So she missed that epic event. And because of that, the puppeteers in Kerala perform for her in her temple. So there's a need to perform the story for Bhagavati because she missed that event when it took place. And that's the roots of Toplavakutu performance. And as you can see, it involves these texts, manuscripts on palm leaves, light from coconut oil lamps. We're using electric lights now. And it's connected to ceremonies like this big procession with a giant representation of Lord Vishnu and his horse. These young people being taught the different verses of the Kampa Ramayana. These are different musical instruments and props used. This is an image of an oracle in a trance mediating between the deity, blessing the puppeteer, Sri
Narayanan Nair.
Thank you. At a temple. So we're never, it seems to me, as a gringo, that we're never far from the importance of ritual performance. And this is a backstage view of a moment where Sri Rama, like the puppet represented over there, is crowned. It's a coronation for Sri Rama. As part of a temple performance in 2010. So this is the tradition, and what's so exciting, or one of the things that's so exciting, excuse me, I don't want to, is so exciting is what Ramchandra and Rahul and their family have done to change those traditions, maintaining the performances in temples, which are part of the tradition, but then breaking out and doing other things. For example, your brother Rajiv was just on India's Got Talent doing a performance of Ramayana.
Sony TV. Sony channel.
Yeah, the performance of Ramayana, the smallest version of Ramayana performance in Hindi.
Okay, which was controversial.
Yeah, in some ways.
But anyway, new types of performance. Would you want to explain some of these different innovations?
So I belong to a family of traditional family puppeteers who are continuing the long legacy of shadow puppetry tradition in India. But when my turn comes, or I was generational family who was just born into modernization or globalization, what you call. And at that time, most of the people who the puppetry form in Kerala was very much diminishing. I can say there was no audience to watch the performance. And when we start to coming up or learning these performances, there were a lot of demotivations that there is no performance in the temple and nobody is coming to watch the performance at temples. And why are you studying these things? So that was the first thoughts that we are giving. When I was a kid, it was the starting way, but our continuous changes with the time to replicate this performance into modern media, like the TV channels or the incorporation. Till 1960, this art form was only performed in the temples. But after that, my grandfather took an initiative to bring this art form from temple premise to outside, making a short version of Ramayana from a 210 hours performance into a 1 hour performance. Wow. So that's the interesting thing, and it went for another 45 years. And my father first started creating the contemporary story. That was the story of Mahatma Gandhi, Indian independence freedom struggle through shadow puppetry. So that was a great change which happened in 2006, and he started incorporating contemporary stories into the traditional format. So likewise, how the tradition of Ramayana is performed, here we started narrating the modern narratives. And everybody appreciated that. People got it welcome. Wow, you are doing a good job. And so when we got that appreciations, my father started incorporating many new contemporary stories, like the story of Jesus Christ. You can see, these are all the new puppets which we have created. So we have break the lineage of secular things, the religious performance into secular formats, And then we started performing with many new contemporary productions, and we have now more than 30 or 40 productions, as well as now we started performing with the political leaders. You can see the Indian Prime Minister and Kerala Chief Minister in these photos. We started replicating their photos into a traditional shadow puppet format, and we started performing that new things. And here is one interesting performance with the same oil lamps which we have performed in soon after the pandemic, that was in 2022. For in the program at France, with combining shadow puppetry of Kerala and narrating the story of Panchatantra fables with European 18th century Baroque music tradition. So that's how we are been doing the modernizations. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, if I could scoot in, sorry, excuse me. So, and more contemporary examples of the work of Ramchandra and Rahul's family include the broadening of the form to include women, which was part of the radical revolution. Men were traditionally the only gender that was supposed to perform. And this is Rahul's sister, Ramchandra's daughter, making puppets. What you could be more eloquent about this than me, I would imagine.
As I told that this was a held tradition, and we are performing for the mother goddess, and due to some purity issues, the woman was not allowed to enter into the temples and not even touch the puppets in the olden time. But my grandfather started bringing it outside, but he couldn't do anything for the woman. But later then, when my father came into power, he started incorporating women initially to make the puppets. He started not to the temples directly, he started involving them in making the puppets. Why? My daughter, when she was growing up, my father involved him in making the puppets, and she started making the puppets. And now, after that, my father gave a workshop for 6 months to the 30 village women to make the puppets. And he explored the area of making the puppets and into a commercial side. How to incorporate the puppet design into a new form of designs. You can see the keychains. How we can incorporate the designs of the same puppets into a leather and that into a modern useful formats. And when it was found, the woman team has started making the puppets, and all this happens after only 2006 or 7 only. And now this happened. This is in 2021, and Rajita and his whole team of women puppeteers is performing the whole Ramayana story as what we are doing, and as well as many new women empowerment stories. So in the outside stages, that was a great privilege for us as we are puppet practitioners. We could incorporate them, and we could develop what they want to tell. And that was a great change. Now they are getting more performances as we had expected initially, and now they are grabbing the world of puppetry in Kerala and in South India.
And we are performing 4 languages: English, Hindi, Tamil, and Malayalam. These 4 languages we are performing all stories. Now today we are going to perform here in English story. So I think I'm very happy.
In a half hour, you'll be performing.
Yes.
So we should go through some of the highlights of the exhibition. You'll see that the way Rahul structured this is to show the ways that the 2 different traditions. This is the Tolu Malata tradition from Andhra Pradesh, and then, for example, the Sri Rama puppet of theirs from the Topavakutu tradition.
And
from
this puppet is made of deer skin. Our in India, only in Kerala and Orissa, this other state, their puppets are made out of deer skin puppet. But other state, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, their puppets are goat skin. Got it.
And also these puppets are more translucent, so the colors come through a little easier. And then the Topavakutu puppets from Kerala are a little thicker, so the colors do come through, I think. Am I wrong?
The colors are natural colors, but Kerala and Orissa have a similar pattern of puppets where they give more importance to carving of the puppets, and that's how the idea came. because when I was taking my graduate course for the spring semester, Matthew was guiding me to take some literary theory courses. So introduction to literary theory course. He encouraged me to take that course. Why? Because you first learn how the text has been interpreted by the philosophers, and that's how it's very much connected, and then you can learn the language of the puppets and how it's carved and how the semiotic meanings of that can be connected. I think it was very helpful for now, because the whole design of these two patterns has been came from that understanding only. Because each and every pattern represents a semiotic meaning, and what does that mean, and how these puppets have been carved out. All these been understood, and it's been exhibited here.
Example, you know, this pattern is known as Virali Pattu. Only that's showing the royalty. In our home, old palace and old homes, houses, they're creating that design. That means Maharashtra, money is coming inside. That is pattern is we are believing. And this is seeds. In our life we need seeds. Where is the seeds? Seeds. This is the seeds design. This is the half moon. This is sun. In our life we are praying at first before the goddesses came. We pray the sun and moon. That is mentioning that it's like that. And we need our seeds. Seeds is important in our life.
So this is the start of the exhibition, and we have mentioned each and every carvings. So if you go through this, all these puppets have such meanings to tell to you. So please go through in that way, so that you will can understand what does that character represent, and what does that character is meaning, and how does that is represented. So that's the whole idea. Now you can.
Yeah, and it's been very exciting in this process to learn how the more you get into it, the more there is to learn, the more you look at the puppets, the more you see there's more to understand in terms of what they're signifying, thinking of semiology. As we all know in the Ramayana, the evil king Ravana with 10 heads kidnaps Sita, the wife of Rama, and takes her away to the island of Lanka, which initiates a big war, which is, since it's a very long epic, has many different chapters. And in the end, Sita is liberated from Ravana by Rama and others, Hanuman and other warriors. That's basically some of the conflict, very, very shortly. Yeah. This is Vibhishana. This is Hanuman, the Monkey King in the Andhra Pradesh tradition. I love the way that repairs have been made from other puppets. Maybe we could go over here and take a look at some of these puppets. Well, I think what Rahul wanted to think about was how the Kerala puppets and the Andhra Pradesh puppets cover some of the same stories, some of the same aspects of the narratives. So here is Hanuman from the Topavakutu tradition, and notice that on his forehead he has sandalwood paste on the forehead. That was applied at a ceremony at the end of the Ramayana cycle. So it gives you a sense of how these objects are quite charged and quite powerful. This is Devadasi, who's a temple dancer. This is the Tolubamalata tradition. And Manthara, another figure from the Ramayana. I have to study. It's been a big studying process for me. This gives you a sense of Andhra Pradesh traditions, and that panel over there, traditions of Kerala. As Rahul mentioned, these colorful, larger puppets from Andhra Pradesh were donated to us by the widow of Walter Fairservice, who was an archaeologist and museum curator who taught at many different colleges. And Vassar is what I'm thinking of. And so at a certain point he accumulated these puppets, which later came to us. The center display case here has, for example, at the top, Sita. It was interesting to me to learn that some of the different aspects of the puppets involve their posture. So this is Sita sitting and talking.
14 parrot is there.
Yes.
14 parrot is mentioning 14 years Rama and Sita, they entered the forest. They're staying in the forest. That's why the 14 parrots are there.
I appreciate learning that about the parrots which are in the frame around Sita. Sita is sitting, Sita's not standing. And you'll see in an under Pradesh version of Sita, it's also surrounded by parrots. And Sita is connected with nature, thinking of the 14 years in the forest.
Yes.
And there was a wonderful show, the examples of which are in the next gallery, that Dr. Cohen and Rahul and others worked on that played on Sita's connection to nature. This is a Devadasi, a temple. Wait, am I right? Yes. No. Yes. Wait, is this right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And this is Sita standing from.
So here in this display case, I would like to showcase how woman sitting, standing, and dancing characters has been projected. So, for example, you can see the puppets has one hand moving while they are in sitting position. In Kerala, all puppets you look when they are in sitting and the standing position, there only one hand is moving. Whereas the dancing character has two hands moving, giving more flexibility to the puppets. And then this is also an Andhra Pradesh traditional puppet of Sita standing, which is having more transparent and more wide movements for the hands. So this is how woman in the shadow puppetry of both the traditions has been projected.
We have to switch. It's all good. Then, so, and here are some more examples of the Andhra Pradesh tradition. Indrajit, the son of Ravana, in a chariot with bow and arrows, and then Lakshmana standing here with his blue-toned skin, the brother of Rama. Okay, and this, of course, is Ravana, the evil entity of the Ramayana. So, and above us is Sri Rama fighting. At the very beginning, we saw the Kerala version of Rama with
Chin Mudra.
Chin Mudra,
Which
learning about mudras, which means
Peace.
peace. And here in the Tolubamalata tradition is Sri Rama fighting. So, okay.
That Rama Mudra is a Mudra. That Mudra is mentioning we need in our life, we want to peace. Yes, that's mentioning for that Mudra. And different types of Mudras. One Mudra is that Chit Mudra. And almost Ravana or Rama, whatever. Mostly the purpose Mudra is a Chit Mudra. We need peace in our life. That's mentioning that.
And it's, I mean, for me, it's another example of how, like, the more we get into this, the more we learn about these different aspects of puppetry. So, coming here to this gallery, we have 3 different panels and an interactive stage here with LED light that looks like flames. And thinking of some of the contemporary or modern aspects of Kerala shadow puppetry, Rajiv's brother, Ramchandra's son, Rahul's brother, Rajiv made this carved shadow figure of Sri Rama Pattabhishek.
Coronation of Pattabhishek.
So, as we know that I have already mentioned here the tradition and revolution. We have started performing the traditional performance, then we started into the contemporary or the modern novel narratives. At the same time, there was a great movement going in the parallel way with the women, as well as how to make the puppets and the change in the puppets. So here there is a great change of having that one puppet moving into a static piece of artwork of just projecting the shadow through the puppet's pattern, and then making it in a simple sequence frame, whereas the hands and the movements are not there, no articulated joints. So this shows that from the keeping the tradition apart for the performance, there was a great change going on in making the puppets and in changing the puppets into an object as a static piece of, as we're learning objects, because we discussed a lot of puppets and objects in the Puppetry and Modernism class of John Bell. So it was such nice, and we modeled that piece from Kerala.
So this is the innovation and revolution and change. This panel includes here, as you can see, the colorful or the differently colored puppets of the Tolupa Malata tradition from Andhra Pradesh, including Brahma riding on a swan, Brahma with 4 heads looking in all 4 directions. Here's Sita in the Andhra Pradesh tradition with the parrots decorating her attached to a tree. This is a kind of a sage, a traveling sage musician that part of one of the sets we've gotten. This is Atikaya, a son of Ravana, and it's interesting because it's not quite finished, as you can see. So some of the painting, these really bright colors, like I don't know what, cyan or whatever they are, they're modern colors, not traditional pigments. And then the eyes have not been done yet. This is Atikaya riding on a chariot. Excuse my mispronunciation.
Ravana's youngest son. Atikaya is Ravana's youngest son.
Okay, eldest son of Ravana. And then Satyabhama, a deity. Right, okay, I'm not going to try to. And also a warrior, as you can see here. And Bhima, one of the 5 Pandava brothers from the Mahabharata, who's like sort of the WW wrestling, big fighter, as you can see. I don't know what we should look at next. These are here. These ones here. There are 2 sections to this panel. The first section here documents performance that Rahul mentioned earlier of Interculture Ramayana, A Tale of Trees and Wood, which Rahul and Dr. Cohen directed this spring with UConn puppet art students and other UConn students.
Puppet arts and other students as well. So that was a great project by us for the last spring semester, and for us it was the first time that bringing Vayankuli tradition and Tolpavukutu tradition together and narrating Ramayana epic from the perspective of trees and wood. And it was a really interesting performance, and we performed here in UConn as well as Stanford and Yale University. So that was a great privilege for us how to bring that to a performance, and it was a great success for us. And if you want to talk, you can talk. Or Matthew.
We have here 2 of the participants, Pale, Tom as well.
Yeah, Tom is here.
2 of our puppeteers and puppet makers, and maybe I think both of them could say a word or 2.
Yeah, it was a fascinating time just working out the crossovers between Indonesian puppetry and Kerala puppetry, Javanese puppetry and puppetry from Kerala. 2 cultures telling the same story with shadow puppets, but completely different ending to the show. And yeah, there were lots of conversations about how to go about the crossover, working with some experts from Indonesia as well, so that was really exciting.
Yeah, similar to what Tom said, it was very interesting working on the adaptation of the script, working on the Topapakutu adaptation of the Ramayana and the Wayan Kulit version of the Ramayana, and getting to base our puppetries off his designs and getting help with Rahul and Matthew working on these puppets and combining traditions. Yeah, it was a very interesting experience and a wonderful time.
The other part of the screen gives you an example of different array of different Tolu Bamalata puppets from Andhra Pradesh. Duryodhana, the monkey, Hanuman the monkey came flying, another monkey warrior, another female dancer. I love the way the pigtail sort of is articulated and moved. Chitrangada king, Sugriva, a monkey, the monkey king of king. Not just anybody. Yes. So Hanuman answers to Sugriva. And I'm thinking, yeah, that in the middle here is a very important musical instrument, the chanda, from Kerala.
So which we brought for our intercultural Ramayana production. We brought that puppet from that chenta from Kerala, and we used that performance. Sol was our drummer, and he has done a lot of improvisations in our performance, and it was a very very great one for the performance.
So we won't hear it tonight, except on tape, I think. The characters over here on the left side are from the Panchatantra, which is a collection of animal stories that it is related to like what Aesop's tales are like, but also is a big influence on the Grimm brothers, on many European writers who made up stories about animals. And Rahul and Ramachandra's family performs different tales from the Panchatantra, which is that traditional or is that an innovation on your part? It's an innovation on your part. It's very old material. As you can see, are beautiful puppets, animal puppets. In our interactive stage, there's some of these animal puppets. Here is epic clowns and ribald comedy. So we did have a warning here, but these are puppetry, as you may know, is often very sexually explicit, which these clowns are. Punch and Judy, Simar, the clowns of Javanese puppetry. There's always this sense of it. And also puppetry is connected with fertility. So all of the roots of puppetry are about fertility rituals. And so these pup clowns here are kind of sexually explicit. And one of the first things I read about Tolu Bamalata was by a scholar, Jonathan Goldberg Bell, who talks specifically about the role of clowns. If you look at Shakespeare's Macbeth or Hamlet, the clowns play a very important role in those tragedies. Even though there's serious stuff going on, the clowns come in and make fun of it. And this is true with in puppet traditions in Germany of Faust and Kasperl. Kasperl, the equivalent of Punch, is the servant of Faust, and kind of like Mickey Mouse and the Sorcerer's Apprentice, he messes things up all the time and makes fun of serious things like that. So here are these clowns who appear in different chapters of the larger epics, the serious epics, but are ribald, are making fun, and connect to these, in my mind, older functions of puppetry as ensuring fertility and stuff, which is an academic term, and stuff. So anyway, that's that. It's 12 of, so I don't know if the performers need to get ready and do your Stanislavski preparation. That we do have the interactive stage. Did you want to play with that at all, or show us anything about that? What would make best sense for you, thinking of your performance coming up, by the way? So, of course, this is something y'all can try with the puppets that are available backstage. Or no, actually, if anyone wants to come and see it from the back.
Yeah, okay. Actually, Rama is going to catch deer as per the request of his wife Sita. So that Rama and the deer character. Ani ponnina paiye paikadiral chedil chodagindradu മാണിക്യമായത്തോരു മാനുളതാൽ കാണത്താകുമോ ഇതു കാരണനേ അതോ വാരായി കനകമൃഗമേ സമീപം വരുവായി കനകമൃഗമേ എന്ന മാനെ வந்து பிடித்து பார்த்து கொடுக்கிறேன் இங்க வா மானே இப்படி வா மானே இங்க வா இப்படி வா இங்க வா இப்படி வா இங்க வா இப்படி வா மானே பிடி கிடக்கிறதில்லை மானே ഒന്ന് ഓടി 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 பார்த்து കൊടുக்கிறேன் இங்க வா இப்படி வா இங்க வா இப்படி வா ഇങ്ങ വാ இப்படி வா ഹേ മാനേ പിടി കിടக்கிறതല്ലേ ഓരാദേനി എൻ മുൻ വന്നായി ഉന്നേ വിരുമ്പി ഞാൻ വന്നേ ശ്രീയാർകമല ശ്രീദേവി ചന്ദ്രു പിടിത്ത് താവെന്റാൾ വാരായി വാരായി മാനേ നീ മരുവോം കുഴലി വളർകിന്റാ മാനെ வந்து ஆட்டி ஓட்டி ஓட்டி ஆட்டி பிடித்து விடுகிறேன் அப்படியே ஆகட்டும் இங்க வா மானே இப்படி வா இங்க வா இப்படி வா മാനുடைய നെടുമാർബയ്ക്ക് ഏക ബാണത്തെ തൊടുത്തുകൊള്ളുകേ എടാ 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 സ്മാപേ
I think, like,
rabbit. You catch rabbit? Okay.
We're going to go into the performance that I believe is like a short version of the Ramayana. In fact, that's in 10 minutes in our theater. And at the end of that, there'll be a question and answer period if you have questions about the shows. So,
Very nice.